Suppose I've got a few hours to kill before they get here. I guess I can watch my next review movie in time. Ooh, Dances with Wolves. It's been a while. Now, as I recall, this was a great movie. Who am I talking to? Ah, well, in any case, let's do this.
Is that Dances with Wolves?
SHUMANI, TUTONKA, WACHI? Yes.
Alright. That's a good movie.
A great movie.
Right. Well, they're here, so whenever you're ready, sweetie.
Okay. I'm sure I'll get to it at some point in time.
He just watched Dances with Wolves.
Great movie.
Who?
Joe.
But
That's future Joe.
I'm confused.
Wait, watching Dances with Wolves doesn't explain why Joe's outside.
But Joe's...
Future Joe.
Right. So,
He really liked that movie. That part at the end where Wind in his hair is yelling his name.
When does his hair?
His hair.
Not Joe's hair?
those days are long behind him.
Low blow.
It's a character from Dances with Wolves.
Who's Dancing with Wolves?
It's a movie.
A great movie.
I thought it was a character.
It's a movie and a character.
Is Wind in his hair a movie?
Just a character.
So where's Joe?
Joe's outside.
And that's future Joe?
Yes!
So why is present Joe outside?
Maybe just to feel the wind in his hair.
Dances with Wolves is a movie, a great movie, and Joe liked it so much that he's outside reenacting the final scene.
With the wind in his hair.
But you don't have any hair.
Ugh!
Can I have that?
Somehow it's just not the same. Dances with Wolves stars Kevin Costner, Mary McDonnell, and Graham Greene in what was also Costner's directorial debut. What a movie to start with. The story opens with John Dunbar, a Union Army soldier who has been wounded in battle and would rather face death than have his foot amputated. While attempting to end his own life by riding out to Confederate lines, he inadvertently distracts them, allowing the Union Army the opportunity to win the day. For his acts of heroism, Dunbar receives medical attention and is permitted to choose his post for the remainder of the war. He requests to be transferred to a desolate outpost on the furthest edges of the western frontier so that he might seize the opportunity to live out his days in quiet refuge. As time goes on, however, he learns that he is not alone in this place and is in fact sharing these plains with a tribe of Sioux Indians. From here we are privy to a carefully balanced epic tale of a man and a people learning to coexist. This film is credited for revitalizing the Western genre, and against all odds too. There was a tremendous amount of difficulty getting any production studio to give this movie the go-ahead. Kevin Costner was quoted saying that he approached several directors before deciding to finally take on the reins himself, and it proved to be the best choice in the end because this movie is remarkable. And I'm sure you all knew that going in. I mean, come on, who hasn't at least heard of Dances with Wolves?
Who's Dancing with Wolves?
Where it would have been easy to Hollywoodize the storytelling and sacrifice substance for style, Costner elects instead to take us on a journey, even calling this a journey film, where everything outside of this movie pours away and we're pulled into the isolation Dunbar experiences at Fort Sedgwick. This isn't a helpless isolation though, but rather a quiet, tranquil place that allows us to sink deeper into the story.
Really?
As the Sioux begin to show up, we watch this relationship between them unfold from cautious acts and hostility to frustrating attempts to communicate, all the way to an appreciation of a culture and a deep respect of an entirely different walk of life. While the movie could be perceived as progressing slowly at first, the great thing is that it's not needlessly dragging out its screen time. Everything you watch, particularly in the beginning, is laying a foundation for what you're going to be seeing later. Not a scene in this movie is wasted. The pacing is both bold and effective, not just with storytelling, but also in how it emotionally involves us with the characters and situations. For instance, the romantic aspect of the plot doesn't really start until around the 52-minute mark, and doesn't even take hold until almost an hour later. And yet it never feels forced or too slow. It allows you to fully understand what brings these two together, watching their relationship unfold naturally with looks and gestures and moments of kindness. And aside from these more positive elements, there's also a thought-provoking exploration of the cruelties of man from both the white soldiers and the more savage Native Americans. And yet, the film doesn't restrict these cruelties to either of the two. In the end, the payoff here is really the thing, and this movie delivers on every note. Very true. Now, I want to talk about this movie's cinematography, which is jaw-droppingly gorgeous. This movie does for the frontier what Lawrence of Arabia did for the desert. The amazing shots that are accomplished here, covering vast ranges of land, are absolutely stunning. There's also a scene in this film involving a buffalo hunt that is one of the most incredible sequences ever caught on film, in my opinion. It's mind-blowing to me how they managed to get this scene to look so authentic, and it's hard for me to imagine how something like this will ever be replicated again. I thought Beth was home. She's not. That's a little creepy. This might be my video evidence of my last moments. I'm gonna die. Alright, so performances, how do they hold up? Well, Kevin Costner was nominated by the Academy for Best Actor in 1991, Best Director also, which he won, and Best Picture, which this film also won, in case you were curious. But he did not win for his acting, and in this film, I think I can agree with that. Of the movies I've watched for 1990, I would probably rank him in the top 5 somewhere. Interestingly enough, Kevin Costner also turned down the role of Jack Ryan for The Hunt for Red October, as well as others, in order to continue to work on this film.
I'd gotten quite friendly with Kevin Costner, and I went to Kevin about playing Jack Ryan, but Kevin was up to his neck and very enthusiastic about doing this Buffalo movie. And I...
Glad it all still worked out okay, and while Costner is really good, I honestly wouldn't even say he's the best performance of the film. The biggest standout, I would say, is easily Mary McDonnell as Stands with a Fist. I mean, if it weren't for her performance, that character could have easily come across as some cliched convenience, but she's quite convincing, even in how she speaks English and how it seems so otherworldly to her at this point. She was just fantastic in this role. Graham Greene is also amazing in his role as Kicking Bird, and he has such a face of innocence and curiosity that really works for this part as the voice of reason and really the heart of the Sioux. Wes Studi also makes an appearance as a brutal leader of the Pawnee tribe. He's usually cast in similar roles because he obviously does them very well, but it's just hard going back after seeing him play the Sphinx in Mystery Men.
Silence!
I love that movie. This film also won the Academy Award for Best Musical Score, which I certainly won't argue with. I mean, I don't know where I stand on the matter with personally just yet, but regardless, the score here is absolutely incredible and is one of the best of 1990. Definitely beats the crap out of Ghost.
For full details, see my published works.
Now, before I score this movie, I want to talk about just one more thing. I'm a Kentuckian, which means I grew up on stories of Native Americans, and I have a deep love and appreciation for Native American culture. So I'm always glad when I get to see a movie that tries so hard to be authentic in its depiction of how they lived so long ago. Is this movie 100% accurate? No, it's a story, but it clearly goes much further than it's asked. A large portion of the film is done in subtitles in order to capture the language of the people depicted, and this too is an aspect that's actually been criticized for not always being quite the correct dialect. But let me just ask you this one question. Would you have preferred it if the Pawnee and the Sioux all just spoke English?
No.
Because, I mean, if that's your thing, it's fine, I guess. I mean, that's why we have Avatar now.
Stupid.
Again, no, it's not entirely accurate, but the film never claims to be a true story, and even so, I think it's inarguable that efforts were made here to maintain its authenticity, and I feel, especially in this time, that you have to at least appreciate this. And it's not like I'm alone in this opinion either. Kevin Costner himself was made an honorary member of the Sioux Nation following this film's release. Anyway, slightly sidetracked, sorry. Dances with Wolves is rated PG-13 for some language, violence, partial nudity, and a sex scene. This movie is fantastic. I cannot go on enough how much respect I have for Costner for trying to give this tale the care and attention it deserved. It's a landmark in cinematic history that we owe the modern Western genre for bringing it back to life. It's a beautifully told story with resonating themes and stunning cinematography. It continues to be emulated and retold in various fashions, but as of yet, the tellings of SHUMANI, TUTONKA, WACHI are what stand the tallest and remain the most timeless. I am giving Dances with Wolves a 5 out of 5.
And nobody can do anything about it.
If you're also an especially big fan of this film and are willing to shell out a few extra dollars, there is an extended version of the movie available that does add on another hour or so. It's the DVD copy that you see behind me here. I have watched it, and personally I would say you're not really missing much just by sticking to the original cut. It does add on some extra content as far as the side characters are concerned and extend some battle scenes here and there. But again, I would consider the original cut to be the superior version of the film overall. The extended version's a little more like watching a book, if you know what I mean. If you do decide to buy it, do yourself a favor and get it used just like I did so you don't have to spend too much. A lot of online sellers will try to drastically overprice this, but $10 at half price books, that's all I'm saying.
That's a good deal.
Guys, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this review. I hope it added something to your day, and I'm going to be unveiling an entirely new segment to my channel with my next post. I'm very excited to share it with you guys, so don't forget to tune in, and as always, you are on Real Time with Joe.
So why is Present Joe outside? I had a gurgle.
That's future Joe.
You look down.
I looked at your crotch.
Why is Present Joe outside?
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Why is he out? I wanna know. Why?
I admit it, the mustache thing is getting a little out of control. Guess I better get a handle on it.
Tell me, why is he out there? I wanna know.
Just remember, we're still recording.
But
You must be like the wolf pack, not like the six pack.
Wow. Mysterious. Terribly mysterious.